everyone's doing well today. I always wind up needing to take that off anyway. So we'll go ahead and get into our wuxi posture. Just beginning to settle into the body and listen to how it's showing up today. Feet hip width apart underneath you, a little bit of bend to the knees, just as though you're going to sit on a stool that's right underneath you. A little bit of weight to the end of the tailbone to elongate the spine, and the spine stacks up all the way to the top of the head, which is suspended from above like a string into the heavens. And a little bit of space under the arms as the hands rest on columns of air in front of you. And we'll just listen for a moment to the body and the mind to see what's present. If you come across a point of tension or chaos that you want to resolve, take a deep breath from your feet all the way up to your crown and then back down again through that point of chaos to create some straight, clean energy through it. And do that a few times until the tension or the chaotic feeling resolves. Usually by like the fourth breath, things feel pretty different. And we'll do our simple clearing that we've been doing all this week. When there's so much tension around us, it's really important to make sure that we're doing our basic clearings before we begin our qigong. You don't want to be pouring energy into a system that's blocked or full of pathogens. Inhaling up, exhaling down, flip, inhale and gather impurities, and exhale them up and out. And you can come back to wuxi. If you want to do that another couple of times, you can. There's no harm in that. I usually like 3 times. My favorite number. And we'll inhale and gently rake up the inner surface of the feet, the legs, the front of the body, down the inside of the arms, and then shake like you're trying to get something sticky off. Go down the back of the arms, over the head, down the back, all the way down the backs of the legs, out the sides of the feet, and shake like you're trying to get something sticky off again. We'll do that another couple of times. So here we are dredging the channels, is what I was taught. So if you've ever heard of dry brushing, it's the same kind of idea, except your fingers are your brush. They are born from the same techniques. And you can do a little more shaking to get rid of anything that you dredged up as you did that exercise. And shake out legs and feet. Shake out hands. If there's a lot of heat, or if you are currently in an emotional state, if that's present, then you can do trembling horse, which is ridiculous. So that's why my teacher always said to just do it with your eyes closed so no one can see you. It's just a great opportunity to get rid of some stuff. And then come back to your wuxi posture and listen to your body again. How have things changed? Not judging or expecting or wanting anything in particular, but just looking to see, gathering information, observing without judgment. Good. I'm going to do a little bit of warming up through the feet and the knees. So just rolling the ankle out. You can pour your sandbags into the other leg that we talked about before. Let's do that a few more times before we switch directions. Now we can switch legs, pour those sandbags into the other leg, and rotate out. And the standing leg has a bent knee still. And the other way. I always like to start by going out and end by going in. All right. Shift your sandbags back over again. And this happens by moving the entire torso over the leg rather than leaning. And then I'm trying to make it so you can see. Like I'm stirring a pot with my foot, warming up the knee and the hip. The ankle remains pretty neutral. Then we'll go the other way. Before shifting the weight back over and stirring that pot with the other leg. And the other way. And go ahead once more to this side, and we'll do our dragon taming thing of as though you have a string that you're picking up from your knee, and your attention is in your hand, and you're imagining that your hand is moving your knee. So you go outwards first. And back in. I think all of the emotional content this week can create a lot of bodily tension. So just taking a moment to nourish and lubricate everything. Come back to this side, and again with your string, planting your toe on the ground, picking up the leg, and using the hand to move it. It's a kind of a silly exercise, but it gets everything nice and warm and open. And the other way. And we'll plant our feet evenly on the ground. Back in Wuxi, listening to the body. What have we achieved? And we'll do some spinal extension, inhaling and bringing the arms down in the front as we exhale. Just taking a deep dive towards the floor. The knees can stay bent. You can get all the way to the floor,
Once you're there, you can alternately straighten each knee a little bit to whatever extent is comfortable. A little bit of a stretch. The backs of the legs pertain to the water channels. So if there's been a lot of fear present or a lot of concern about resources, the backs of the legs can get quite tight, as though we're holding on to our resources with our muscles. Bend the knees substantially, let the head hang down, and imagine picking a ball up off the floor as you roll up to the top. Raising the head up rather than snapping it back. And we'll do that another couple times. Diving down. Down to the floor. And if you can't do this, that's okay. Just go where you can. Maybe you just let your head hang down and not your whole back. Maybe you sit in a chair and you fold yourself over. For those of us who are bending down with our whole body, you can go ahead and grab your elbows with your hands, opposite elbow obviously. And you can sway a little bit from side to side, just lengthening through the back on either side. Feeling how this movement changes the alignment of your hips. Come on back to neutral. Let the head hang down. Bend the knees and imagine picking a ball up off the floor. Coming to stand upright. And we'll dive down one more time. Making our way to the floor. And this time, just stuck the feet out a little bit wider, straighten the knees, and rotate the pelvis slightly as though it's a steering wheel. And I actually feel this along the outsides of my legs and along the insides of my legs. So you're getting some good work through the wood channels, gallbladder and liver. Anytime you have a groin pull, that's a liver problem, liver channel. And these channels nourish the sinews. They give us the capacity for movement. They nourish the eyeballs. So if you have dry eyes or migraines that are ocular in nature, anything like that, these channels are going to be involved. And emotionally, they pertain to anger, which is obviously pretty important right now. So we want to give them a little bit of love, make sure that they have a little bit of space in them so that we can fill it up with energy and fluids. When our channels move more smoothly, when they're more open, we're able to fill the channels just by virtue of eating and digesting. When the channels are stuck up, when we take in food, we are adding to stagnation, making pain worse, that kind of thing. It's the kind of thing where when you eat and you don't feel so good. People with poor appetite, that kind of thing. Stepping the feet back together, just to hip width apart, parallel underneath you. Bend the knees substantially, let the head hang down, and imagine picking that ball up off the floor one more time. That allows you to keep your shoulders in the right spot. Raising back up to wuxi, and we'll listen to the body again and see what's different.
now that we've made that space. So a lot of us have spent a lot of this week working with emotional content, which is wonderful, but we're also using our chi and our blood to do that. So I wanted to make sure that we have enough space in our bodies to nourish ourselves over the weekend. Anybody who's been protesting probably has sore legs and back. Hopefully that's helped those folks. And we'll go ahead and open up the upper body, which contains all of the fire channels, and the fire channels pertain to feeling connected to one another, which is super important right now. So we're going to begin by making little beaks with the hands and pushing them out in front of us and pulling the beak back towards you. I'll try to make it so you can see. So I like to inhale towards myself and exhale as I push away and pull back. Because it's like I'm exerting some energy to make that happen. And I bend my knees as I exhale. And never quite straight, but straightening as I inhale. And now we're going to switch to open palms, pushing out in front of us and pulling the fingertips back towards us. This is one of the few times that we break the wrists in Qigong. Usually, like I was saying yesterday, they're pretty straight, but we want to pull them back towards us to get a stretch through triple heater and small intestine channels. Now you're going to make your beaks, but you're going to face them towards one another and pull them back towards your face. And this time, pushing out with open palms and pulling the fingers back towards the shoulders. Just straight out from the shoulders. Now we're going to do all those movements again, but facing out to the side. If you need to drop and sort of shake things out, you can in between. But then we're going to go right into it, pulling those little beaks down towards us. And now making open palms, pushing and then pulling the fingertips back towards us. Kind of feel a little bit like a swan, like a ballet dancer when I do this one. And we're going to make those beaks again facing forwards and pulling back towards us. Just bringing the fingertips and the thumb together. Now we're going to switch back to open palms, pushing out and pulling the fingers back behind us and towards us. Oof, that one's always the hardest one for me. Fill it up through large intestines. So some of those channels are to do with grief, and some of those channels are to do with feeling sad in general, lack of joy. So there's a lot of that, am I feeling contentment in my connection to others, sort of feeling that has to do with the upper body. Coming back to Wuxi posture again, just for a moment, let's listen and see what working through the arms like that has done, if anything. If you don't feel anything, that's okay. It's a practice. You're not a master. I'm not a master. We're all just practicing together. It's not a competition. Just listen and observe without judgment, without expectation. Just having an experience. You're on this earth having an experience. Go ahead and shake out the arms before I make you hold them up again. Ha. Some of you might know what's coming. I tend to do this with my upper body stuff. So I'm going to make those little beaks again, wrapping them around, pushing them forward, and then out to the sides, and then pulling them back towards me. So I'm doing this. It's a lot. I don't want to go so far back that I arch my back. If that starts to happen, then I'm going too far. So I'm going to go about there. See if you can feel that in you. And then drop the ear to one shoulder and roll it slowly forwards and backwards. So you're getting a nice little stretch across your shoulder. Shoulders have a lot to do in Chinese medicine and in zero balancing with what we're bearing, the responsibilities that we're shouldering quite literally. A lot of the time we'll have patients with frozen shoulder, and you'll do an interview and you'll find out that there's some emotion around burden that started around the time of the frozen shoulder. And if you work with that emotion, the shoulder frees up. Fun story. So we're just taking a moment to open up those channels and let go of those burdens. All of the parts of the body that pertain to different emotional content. Drop the chin to the chest, and then drop the ear to the other shoulder. And roll forwards and backwards. See if you can let your shoulder blade on the opposite side drop down a little bit. Feel a little more of a stretch towards the front of your neck if you do that. Just freeing up the clavicle and the acromion, which is part of the scapula. A little anatomy lesson for you today. And we'll go ahead and drop back to normal, letting the arms go for a second. Just let them go, because we're going to hold them up again. Again, those of you who've done this with me before, oh no, we're going to do it again. It's okay. It's good stuff. So we're going to point those beaks towards us, behind us, out, and then pull them kind of up. It's a little different from what we were doing before. And the same thing, I don't want to go so far back that you push your chest out. Just a little bit. Drop the ear to the shoulder and roll. Letting go of burdens. Opening up those channels to let any emotions flow through them. If you get any twitchies along your extremities, that's called kriya. It's an idea from Ayurvedic medicine and that we use in zero balancing. It's a working sign. So sometimes when I'm doing this, I'll feel little twitchies in my arm. Unless you have a sharp pain accompanying it in your neck, I'm not worried about it. If you have a sharp pain in your neck, stop. Don't do this. Call your chiropractor. But just little twitchies without any pain, I'm not worried about that. It's a working sign. And go to the other side. Rolling out, letting go. Letting go of responsibilities for just a moment. We all have a responsibility right now to do everything we can about this political environment. But you can have a couple of minutes where you let your shoulders relax and you put your burden down. You can't carry it constantly. Drop your chin to your chest. Come back up to neutral. Shake out your arms. And come back to wuxi. Well, I feel very different than when I started. Just checking my time. We are moving right along. So yeah, I wanted to take care of the body today because we have been doing so much emotional work, which is so important. And the body is what houses that. So we need to make sure that the body is sound in order to do that work, to shoulder those burdens without crumbling under them. So just in Wuxi for a moment. And you stay there, and I'm going to pull up, I wanted to read from the Tao Te Ching. Just listening to your body, feeling what it's like now that you've opened up the channels, giving your body a chance to let go of some burden. So this is chapter 22 from the Tao Te Ching, which is the classic of Taoism and ancient Chinese wisdom. Yield and overcome, bend and be straight, empty and be full, wear out and be new, have little and gain, have much and be confused. Therefore wise men embrace the one and set an example to all. Not putting on a display, they shine forth, not justifying themselves, they are distinguished. Not boasting, they receive recognition. Not bragging, they never falter. They do not quarrel, so no one quarrels with them. Therefore the ancients say, yield and overcome. Is that an empty saying? Be really whole, and all things will come to you. So I thought that made a lot of sense. I literally just flipped open my Tao Te Ching this week and was like, oh, they're talking about peaceful protest, for example. Yield and overcome. So hopefully that sort of strikes a spark in you and gives you the little push that you needed to keep fighting this week and this weekend. Everybody be safe. Don't spend money on the 7th. Do good things. And we'll go ahead and close down for today. Inhale up, bending the elbows. Exhale, bringing clean energy down through your body, right down through the front of you. Inhale up, bend the elbows, and exhale, this time bringing clean energy into your back, all the way down. Once more, inhale up, bending the elbows, and bring energy right down through the core of you. Pushing any impurities out into the earth, at least 3 feet deep. Inhale up, bringing the palms right to the chest, just pressing into the heart for a moment and listening to the hollowness there, the chamber that allows blood to flow through it, that allows emotion and consciousness to flow through it. Now unburdened and ready to shine on everything that needs it today, and on everyone that needs it today. Inhale up in gratitude to the heavens for all of the air and light that we've benefited from today, and exhale down into the earth in gratitude for holding and nourishing us. Bring the hands back together. Let's bow in gratitude to one another. Thank you for practicing with me today. I hope that it served you well. All this week, I made everything for free so that people could benefit. So I'm hoping that I made a difference for at least one person, because that would just be the best that I could do to be able to serve right now. Make sure that everybody has a chance to process what's going on and be safe and healthy with it. So go forth, do good things, and I'll be back again on Monday at 11 a.m. If you're not already a member of my Patreon, you can check that out at patreon.com/3treasureswellness to get access to all of my recordings. And you can also find all 5 of my free videos there from this week. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed and that you feel good and you can go out and do wonderful things. Or, do nothing if that's what you have to do today. Take care, and I'll see you next time.